Hello, welcome to Lessons Learned. I'm Sherry. This is Finish It Friday, where we see what I've gotten finished this week and what some of you have gotten finished this week, or at least to some state of finished. This little project I did about a year ago on Shark Week. I think Shark Week is in July, but it's only fitting that I get this finished before another Shark Week rolls around. So I don't even remember where I got this pattern from. I think I just kind of made it up, or maybe I kind of looked at something online and copied it. I don't remember. But recently I stuck it on the long arm and put this little bubbly, wavy thing on it. Sorry for the shadow. And I had put some little corners on it. Looks like he's in the pool. And then from this fabric here, this is a piece of fabric, this tropical, I got from Hancock Fabrics years and years ago. I made a quilt out of it, gifted that quilt, and then I had a few pieces left, so I used them in this project. And I even cut out one of the flowers from a piece of it and appliqued that on. So that is a finish for this week, other than I need to put some kind of little binding on it. I might do this. I might see if I can find this fabric right here and put that on it, around it, just to kind of finish it out. Also, I have this finish. And it's not bound either, but it is quilted. Now this isn't anything I made. This is one of the quilt tops, quilt projects from Betty's Stash. And if you don't know what that is, I inherited my mother-in-law's fabric stash. So this was all put together in her stash. I don't know if it was supposed to have another border or not. I didn't have any other fabric that was placed with it when we found it. So she had machine pieced this. So I threw it on the long arm today and got it all quilted up. And this is a little berry meander. You can kind of see it there on the teapots. This also is some fabric by Phyllis Hoffman. And it was Phyllis Hoffman for Hancock Fabrics. So it's a Hancock fabric kind of day. All of us probably have some pieces of Hancock fabric pieces in our stashes if you've been sewing for very long at all. So this was a little teapot themed quilt. And I thought the little berry meander was perfect for it. Not too fancy and not too plain. I'll show you the back, which is also, this was with this project, so I assume it was meant for the back. There was barely enough to do it with, especially on the width. But it turned out very nice. This is my first complete project of hers. I have many more that I would like to put together. A few little kits, a few little unfinished projects, and I'll be doing those along the way. So let me put a picture also of my pick and mix. Got pick and mix done. If you wanted to see the wrap up of that, you can go to Wednesday's video and check out where I finished that. But here's a picture of it for you. Okay, now let's get on to your finishes. First up is Becky. She has one called Drop Diamonds. She says, I made the drop diamonds Donna Jordan was working on before she passed away. The fabric is called Return to Hope by Benartex. I used a pink grunge for my background and I enjoyed making it. Nice pattern, and great that you did this in honor of Donna Jordan. Beautiful fabrics. Doesn't look super complicated, but has a big has a big effect to it. So great job here, Becky. Thank you so much. Next we have Pat. She says, I pulled out my massive scrap collection and combined 2 of Bonnie Hunter's patterns to make this pieced top. It was fun seeing old favorites and it went together very fast. Enjoy seeing your Friday quilt show, Pat from Washington State. Well, you sure did. You got all your scraps out and this is just amazing. It really is. And you know, Bonnie Hunter has those very piecey quilts. And so this is reflected in how you combine the 2 patterns here. So great job and good for you for using your little scraps that you had left. This one is from Cheryl, and this is something that she made up. It's a baby quilt, and it's made of tiny 1-inch squares. And she says using her new quilt pattern called postage stamp strips. So you see the one block there with the postage stamp size squares, and that makes up the block. And then you see in the full picture all of the blocks, and some are horizontal and some are vertical, and that makes a very nice effect. Again, using up small pieces of our scrap. This pattern is by Cheryl from Heartfelt Quilt Design, and that's the .com, www.heartfeltquiltdesign.com. I think she offers this for sale if you would like. Dolores has some adorable baby doll quilts here. She used the 16 patch method of putting together scraps for doll baby quilts, and these are so cute. She's got some nice fun backing on some of them and bindings as well. And then behind the doll quilts we see her top knot quilt, and that's a pattern by Pen and Paper Patterns. I would like to make that pattern someday soon. I've seen it, and your version with the navy and the medium pinks is adorable. I love it. This one is from Donna, and she says I started this during the polar vortex of 2014. We had sub-zero temps for days. As fate would have it, we had a pipe burst in the laundry room, which is way too close to my other rooms. It was late February, and my house was so dark and depressing with everything ripped out of it. I needed something to brighten my days while the construction crew worked hard to put everything back together again. So I found a beautiful fat quarter stack and a kit that I no longer wanted to make, and it had come from Craftsy. She started to call it Think Spring. The block patterns are all by Amy Gibson, a Craftsy instructor and author, and Donna did her 2012 Craftsy Block of the Month, and then a couple of years later she found her Sugar Block Club, which was 1 dessert recipe and 1 quilt pattern per month. Oh, that sounds fun. I knew it would be the perfect fit for the fabric. I hope you love it as much as I do. And it's in her daughter's room, and she's happy to show it to us. And I love this quilt. I love the fabrics that you use. That's my color picks. You know, all the different greens and corals and deep pinks. Love it. And all the wonderful quilting that you did on it. Fabulous. Dolores came in again with another finish. This was a Heather Briggs panel, and Dolores decided to hand quilt it. So she hand quilted around the hexes and then around each square that contained the hexie. And this is the Flower Girl line of Heather Briggs. So it makes a very, very cute baby blanket. Good job. Annette, she says, I completed this 2024 brown bag mystery quilt this week, and it is really beautiful in person. Lots of small pieces, and making sure block placement was correct. Had to seam rip a few times. Trimming, and off to the Longarmer next. It is called Piece of Cake. Ooh, I like this. It's got a lot of neat piecing in it, especially the medallion in the middle with the blue. I don't know, I just like the way that looks, and then those are repeated on the ends. I really like this. Annette sent another one. She says, this was a past quilt I made for my granddaughter that I am submitting now, as the pattern has now been released to purchase. It's called Sewsational 6 and represents Mickey, Minnie, Donald, Daisy, Pluto, and Goofy. And the back is quilted with Cuddle, and the Longarmer used a Mickey and Minnie pantograph for the quilting pattern. Well, that's cool. Very nice. Now I have to really look at that quilt now and see what you mean by each of the long vertical strips represents one of the Disney characters. I see Daffy Duck, I see Minnie Mouse, I see Mickey, I see Pluto. I see them all now. So that is a very, very creative way to make a quilt. Debbie has a Finish It Friday for us. She has two, actually. She says these quilts are finished tops only and are from this year's brown bag mystery titled Dealer's Choice. The way it works is like a blind date with a quilt. You buy a brown bag without seeing the fabrics or pattern. Only one piece of the fabric is visible. Then every 2 weeks you get a video clue and paper clue in the mail. It's a lot of fun watching it come together. The blue quilt has lighthouses from the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and the second quilt is made of William Morris fabrics that are so beautiful up close. And she says, sorry, the pictures are just up on the wall in my sewing room, but we can see it. We can see the full intent of your work here. That blue, oh my goodness, that is just so wonderful. The blues and the greens together, and the fabric that was used with the lighthouses, that's really neat. And then the softer one with the Morris & Company fabrics, very, very nice. I like that. Got some nice projects under your belt here. And then let's see, Becky. She says, here is a Strippy Stairways quilt I made from a GE Designs pattern. This is a different Becky than the first one we showed. It was a retirement gift from my former boss, and she loved it. I had fun making it and found the pattern easy. Thanks for sharing our beautiful creations. You're welcome, Becky. Thanks for sharing them with us. I love this. Pinks and the greens again. You guys know what I love. Just turned out great. We have one from Carol. She says, this is a wall hanging I made for competition at my last retreat in May. It's called Birds and Blooms. It's 26 by 32. There were 17 entries. I shared my progress with the Facebook group. Well, I won first place. I used part of a pattern and created the rest myself to make it one of a kind. I look forward to coffee with you 3 days a week and love all your shows and chat. Thank you, Carol. I love your little wall hanging. Lots of creativity here. Look at the hummingbirds. Those turned out great. No doubt they are paper pieced. I love the variety of flowers that are pieced. And I also like the little pops of color in the sky, as well as your, I think it's free motion quilting that you've done on here. And, you know, they kind of look like little happy clouds, or maybe just mimicking the shape of the flowers. Either way, it turned out great. Love this, Carol. And then Dee Dee said, good morning, Sherry. Just an idea that works well for scraps and saving hands from heat. Cast iron skillet handle covers. She says, my lady friend has silicone ones that came with her skillet and don't work. I made these covers and gave them to her to try. I'm waiting for her thoughts when used. Then I'll make some in the fabric she likes. The red one was made from a free pattern. The yellow one I traced and made the pattern from one I purchased many, many years ago. Do those work? Do you have to use, the heat resistant stuff in it? I'd like to know more about these. Very nice. I think I've had the silicone ones before and also found that I don't know if I just didn't want to trust them or they really didn't work on the heat that I was using. But I like your little designs here. Very nice. And then Susan also has a quilt top. She says, my brother asked me to make this quilt for him. He has been a Bob Marley fan for many, many years. He picked the colors, of course, and the very simple pattern. Now it's on his bed. Yeah. You know, something we may not like, the person that asks for it is bound to like it because they know what they like. So Bob Marley for the win here, and he's got it on his bed. So good job, Susan. Okay, I think that's where we're going to end it up for today. I had a couple more, and I think I'll have probably a few more come in, and we will need those for next week anyway. So come back on Finish It Friday for another quilt show. I hope you enjoyed this one. And then to close out the video, I will leave you with a picture of the Blues Boutique quilt. And the news on that is the quilt sold on eBay at auction for $254 and was won by Donna Thorne, and she is a subscriber to the channel here. So congratulations, Donna. And we will have another one before long. So if you missed out on this one, there's more in our future. All right, have a great weekend, and I will see you back here not on Monday. I'm going to delay Monday Quilt Chat till Tuesday. So excuse me for that, but we're not coming back home till Monday. It's possible I could get the video done by Monday evening, but just in case, I'm going to promise you Tuesday first thing in the morning. If you see it earlier than that, then knock yourself out. Watch it. It's going to be the same. All right, we'll see you for that Monday Quilt Chat, either Monday late or Tuesday. Have a great weekend. Bye.